Hi guys, and welcome back to the Coffin Heroes YouTube show. It's been a little bit of a minute between episodes, but this is being recorded as we've been back open to the public a full week. I'm recording this on the Friday the 7th of May, if you will. So yeah, just wanted to update you guys on how the store went the first week, take you through some of the stuff I've been enjoying, take you through my pull list as always, and then just finish off on a few bits and pieces in terms of things that have caught our eye in the last week other than the store. But yeah, it's been a relentless week. It's been really, really busy. A massive thanks to each and every one of you who walked through our doors. Each and every one of you who've unequivocally given the store your support. Everyone who spread the word about the place. We saw a lot of new faces this week, which has been wonderful. Our regulars will always be the lifeblood of the business, but it does help us grow, getting those new faces in as well. So massive thanks to anybody who spoke about us in a positive light or passed it along or recommended the store. So it's been really, really positive to come back after this long break, after these 5 months in lockdown, and to have it at a point where people are really happy to see us open again. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, myself and Vicky, massive thanks for that. So again, yeah, busy week, some good slabs sold, lots of graphics, lots of new readers. It's great to see. And again, it helps us grow. So that was the store this week. I hope you guys, enjoyed all the effort that we put into it, increasing the graphic novel section, increasing the omnibuses, the new release section being slightly changed. I mean, we're not quite back to full capacity yet. Obviously, we're waiting for the restrictions to be lifted a little bit more again. And then people can sit in, enjoy those conversations, geek out over stuff, get wrestling chat going, get comic chat going, get movie chats going. I mean, there's been a lot of great stuff in the last sort of 6 months, in all forms of fandom, and there's going to be some good conversations in store. So yeah, that was the first week open of the store. So a couple of little bits and pieces. Obviously with the website, we've been continuing to add new stock on there. We're putting the new releases on there weekly. There might be the odd time you don't see a new release on the website. Now that's because we will always take care of in-store customers first. You guys will always get first crack of new titles that have come out. If we've only a limited amount of something, we'll offer it in store first, and then down the line we'll offer it online. So if you ever see anything that's not on the website, just drop us a little message. We might have it in store and we can always keep that to the side for you. Also wanted to let you know that we're opening up the CGC submissions again. So we have 75 books off at the moment, but we've already taken about 15 so far from you guys, and anybody who's interested in CGC stuff, just come in and see us and we can take you through the process, take a note of what you want to send off. We're hoping to send that off in about 2 weeks' time. And hopefully by then the 75 we have off will be back, and we can obviously share with you guys all the cool stuff that's come through there. There'll be another What's in the Box video coming soon. We've got another nice big drop of merchandise coming next week from our suppliers in Cambridge, Heo. So there's some really cool stuff in that. Offhand, there's McFarlane Batman stuff. When I say McFarlane Batman, I mean Batman black and white statue, McFarlane Batman. There's some Crow figures coming. There's some new cool printed comic boxes coming. There's a lot of cool stuff coming, and of course a lot of cool stuff coming in the delivery in general next week, as we'll be back to getting our normal delivery from Diamond hopefully on the Monday as well. So yeah, lots of good stuff to look forward to as ever. But I'm a little later this week, again, as I say, in terms of sort of showing you off some of the titles that I've enjoyed. But I'm just going to take you through. These were titles that came out not Wednesday just there, but the Wednesday before. And then I'll show you my pull list from this Wednesday anyway. But from 2 weeks ago, I should say, Deadly Class 45. Such a great return to form for this series. It's been a year almost since it was away. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love this series. All the trades are always in stock in store. If you've never got into it, get into it, because it is just simply for me anyway, one of the best comics on the shelves. So that's Rick Remender and Wes Craig. You've got Once and Future from Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora, who of course is on Detective Comics now. This was a stunning issue. This is the end of the third story arc, so anyone who's trade reading, it'll be coming soon to trade. But this was a spectacular ending for this series arc, I should say, because it's opened it up in a brand new way, and I look forward to issue 19 to coming back. There just seems to be this theme here of titles just finishing, so crossover number 6 this week as well, I very much enjoyed. If you've got even a modicum of Image knowledge of some of their biggest titles of the last 10 years, you get a massive kick out of this, and again, that was the end of the story arc. We have one of my favourite number ones so far this year, which is Robin number one. So that is Joshua Williamson on writing, Gleb Melnikov on art, and a really, really strong first issue. I'm a big mark for Damian Wayne, so I'm always happy to see Damian given a bit of time in the spotlight. Really enjoying Teen Titans Academy as well, so we're up to issue 2 of that. So this is Tim Sheridan on writing duties and Rafa Sandoval on art, and this is continuing the mystery of who is Red X, while also setting up the Teen Titans Academy, which has the sort of well-known Titans lineup, you know, taking on the role of teachers and trying to train up the next generation of Titans. And then one last one that I very much enjoyed this week, and I absolutely adore this cover. With Detective Comics, I've always collected the variants. I've just always taken a shine to them. Lee Bermejo's been doing them for quite a while, and this is some of his best work yet. This is Detective Comics 1035, written by Mariko Tamaki and art by Dan Mora. And then this is the Lee Bermejo cover. Now, I get the feeling as well that this is a little hint to Rear Window, classic Hitchcock movie, which is my favourite movie of all time. Just by the way, it looks like there's a murder about to take place and Batman's on the fire escape. I could be wrong, I could be reading too much into it, but that definitely has a whiff of Rear Window to me. But a brilliant title. That's the second issue of Detective Comics ever since it came back from Infinite Frontier. And we've managed to get some second printings in of 1034 and 1035. So if you love you some good Batman stuff, I mean, the art alone, what Dan Mora is doing on that, it's like peak level Jim Lee era. But I'll take you through my pull list this week. So a lot of single issues and also 2 compendiums, because as you can see, I can't resist a compendium at the moment. Although in fairness, one of the compendiums isn't mine, it's Vicky's, but I will be reading it as well. So in terms of the compendiums, what we have is All New Wolverine. So this has been one of the most in-demand compendium requests, certainly in our 4 years of being open. This is Tom Taylor's run on All New Wolverine, and you know, Juan Cabal on art with him, who was someone who worked with him on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So this is the Wolverine when it's X-23 taking over the mantle, it's Laura Kinney taking over, and this is fantastic from what I understand. I've read the first 10 issues so far, because I was going to read it in trades, but then when this big omnibus was coming out, I just was definitely on board for this. So we've got a couple of extras in store, not a lot of extras because this was on a lot of pull lists, and you don't get an awful lot of compendiums or omnibuses being on pull lists, but this was definitely an exception to that rule, and yeah, proven popular already, and I think it may even be sold out at distributor level already, so that's a big one in demand, so do not miss out. The other one is an older story, but I'm going to need 2 hands to lift this one. Oof, look at that. So this is the Final Crisis Omnibus. So Final Crisis is one of my favourite DC events ever. This was an event written by Grant Morrison. This was released just before DC indulged in the New 52. And this was a concurrent storyline with Batman R.I.P., which was also Grant Morrison based. But this is as comprehensive as omnibuses get. You know, as well as the Final Crisis main series, which is 7 issues. You've got issues in here from Batman, from Birds of Prey, from DC Universe. Pardon me, you've got a ton of tie-in issues, things like Superman Beyond, Secret Files, Rogue's Revenge. You've got Flash issues, you've got Justice League of America issues, you've got Superman Batman issues, Teen Titans issues. This is one of the most comprehensive ones I have seen yet, and you know, just looking at the size of it alone, I mean, dwarfs even Injustice and the Green Lantern Jeff Johns stuff, so that is going to be a fantastic read. I think I'm going to need to set aside about 15 hours one day just to indulge in that in one sitting. But in terms of the single issues this week, so the usual nice big pile of stuff, all quality of course, or I hope. So first of all, we've got Firepower number 11, so this is the second last issue of the second main arc, if you don't include the Prelude as an early arc. So Robert Kirkman, Chris Samney, action-packed stuff, always one of the first ones I really look forward to. So next up we have The Good Asian. Now The Good Asian is a detective noir story set back in the 30s. Now I've already read this and this was something special. I really recommend jumping on this. I mean, you just look at the art style of it, you look at the colors, you look at the old school design of it. I'm a huge fan of this book already. We've only a couple of copies left, but I think this is going to be one of the big books of the year. So this is written by Pornsak Pichot and Alexandre Tefegne on art. Brilliant adult storytelling at its best, and a brilliant first issue. You'll hear a lot about that in the next podcast, I would say. So we've also got Batman 108, so this is easily the most ordered Batman issue we've had so far in our short history as a store, but this is the first appearance of Miracle Molly, a new character being brought in, a new creation of James Tynion IV, Jorge Jimenez on art. Again, I have read this issue, again it is excellent, but I expect nothing less from James Tynion. So the top three were at the top because I've read those so far, which I'm ahead of the game for a change. But everything else I haven't ducked into just yet. So we have the next Batman Second Son, second issue of a 4-issue miniseries written by Oscar winner John Ridley. So I really dug the first issue of that. We have the Ram v Swamp Thing, so we're up to issue 3 of that. In case you didn't know, we did chat to Ram a few weeks ago on the podcast. Thoroughly amazing guy to chat to, really knowledgeable, really enthusiastic about the comic industry, really passionate, and Swamp Thing, it may be his masterpiece so far, just brilliant stuff. We have the next issue of Amazing Spider-Man, Nick Spencer's run on that. This is a new storyline called King's Ransom. If you were looking at jumping on point for Amazing Spider-Man, I believe it was 62 or 63 was part 1 of King's Ransom, so might be a good time to jump on that. We have the first issue of Marvel's first big event of this year. Well, if you don't include the end of Kingdom Black, I suppose. But Heroes Reborn, so issue 1 of that. So looking forward to that. I mean, you can't go wrong with a creative team that involves Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. That's some top tier stuff there. We have the next issue of Al Ewing and Joe Bennett's Immortal Hulk. So we're up to number 46. That's going to be a 50-issue series, so that's starting to come to its end. We have the last issue, I believe, of Larry Hama's Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon. So up to number 5 of that. Strange Academy, always good. Issue 10 of this one, so Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos' series. I love this cover with Galactus' head at the end of the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, great stuff there. So really enjoying Strange Academy. We have issue 7 of Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky's Bliss. This has been a really cool little series as well, exploring a father-son relationship, the lengths a father goes to protect his son, even if it damages his own life or his own reputation or his own legacy. But a really interesting series. That it's going to be 8 issues, so there's just one more to go of that. We have the next issue of Commanders in Crisis, issue 8. This is Steve Orlando and David Tinto. This is going up to 12 issues. One series I'm really digging is Dead Dog's Bite. This is a great, almost Twin Peaks influence series, so they had me straight away. But this is Tyler Boss writing and drawing. He recently did a fill-in arc for Department of Truth as well with James Tynion. So great wee series that. We have the next issue of Mirka Andolfo and Andrea Boccardo's Deep Beyond. So this is the underwater set horror, another series I'm really digging so far. We have the triumphant return of Die for its final arc. So this is issue 16. This is only going to be a 20-issue series in total. So we're down to we're hitting the end game with Die, and this has been a wonderful series. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all ends. This is one that I think is going to be a big title again. This is another Boom series, an original #1. Now, the pre-orders in this weren't exactly massive, but I ordered quite a few copies. Things I've just got a wee sneaky feeling about it. This is a series called Eve. This is written by Victor Laval and art by Jomi Guillaume. And this just looks really wonderful. Brilliant world building stuff, post-apocalyptic stuff, and it's a Boom #1, and Boom have been knocking it out of the park recently. We also have Fear Case #4, so this is the end of the Matt Kent Dark Horse series, which I've been really enjoying, which is art by Tyler Jenkins. We have Ian Fleming's James Bond Agent of Spectre. We're up to issue 3 of that, and again, who doesn't like a good James Bond title? We also have The Last Witch, issue 5, so I can finally read all of this now. Keith raves about it, absolutely loves it. I believe Roddy's really enjoying it as well, so a couple of opinions that I really trust there, and I've been waiting for issue 5 to come so I can read all 5 back to back. Another one that might be a wee sneaky sleeper hit is Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. So if you ever watch, you know I'm a huge fan of AWA stuff, but the fact that this is written by Garth Ennis and art by Goran Sudzuka, I'm looking forward to that. 8 issues, which is quite long for an AWA title, so looking forward to tucking into that. We also have Noctera, so I've raved about Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniels series so far. We're up as far as issue 3, so halfway through the first arc. As ever with every 2 weeks, we have New Walking Dead, which is always a good thing. Walking Dead Deluxe, we're up to issue 14 now with that, so we're hitting the prison. And then we finish off with one last one, which is Wind, which is James Tynion IV and Michael Dielnis. This was a great series. The trade of this has just come out, which collects issues 1 to 5, and then 6 is the start of a new story arc. But I'm a huge fan of Wind. Just when I lay them all out like that, I realize how big my pull list is. Pretty much just like every week. So that's all the stuff that's out this week that I'm really looking forward to tucking into. Just before I jump into the bits and pieces of the news as well, I should mention we also released a podcast this week. In fact, we released 3 podcasts this week. It was a busy week. The first one is the previews podcast, so it's for the May book for titles that are out in July. So give that a wee listen to know about the best upcoming titles. We just released our latest reviews podcast, which the titles I mentioned there, Detective, Once and Future, etc. We went into much more detail on. And then we also had a sit-down chat with Declan Shalvey and Rory McConville. They have a new title coming out next week called Time Before Time that looks really, really good. And we chatted to everything about them about that title, about Bog Bodies, about Ride It in Blood. Really good chat with those guys, and just really nice guys as well. But again, we'll finish off with the bits and pieces that caught my eye this week. And I mentioned Time Before Time there, so it hits next week with a brand new number 1. But the guys have also organised a Kickstarter for it as well. But what they're doing with the Kickstarter is it's Time Before Time Process Edition. What this essentially is going to do is it's going to show you the template for how to set up a comic book. They're going to go into the making of, they're going to go into the scripting process, they're going to go into the sketching process, they're going to go into, crafting the story, crafting the world. And it's a really cool little thing that they've put together. There's a little trailer for it. You can find it at Kickstarter.com and just search Time Before Time Process Edition. A couple of interesting things that definitely caught my eye this week regarding Mark Millar and all of his Millarworld titles. I've spoken before about The Magic Order, which is a title I adore. It's basically Harry Potter meets Goodfellas for grown-ups. It's fantastic. But it was 6 issues, and then we haven't heard much from it since. But it was also the first one that was picked up in this Netflix deal that they set up with Millarworld. And I believe they made a pilot. Netflix passed on it, but now it's back in the works again. So it looks like they're going to move forward with it. They've got a new writer's room set up for it, and they're going to be going for it. But the more interesting part for me is, as much as I'm looking forward to his show, Millar also announced that the Magic Order Volumes 2 and 3 will be released this coming autumn. So Volume 2 is going to have art by Stuart Immonen, absolutely outstanding artist. That's going to drop in October, and then it's going to be followed immediately afterwards by Volume 3, and the artist on that one is Gigi Cavanago, who I'm not overly familiar with as well. But also Millar revealed he's working on a new spy comic and live action series, although it's going to be something very different to Kingsman, which again is really good stuff. And then just to finish on the Mark Millar stuff, he is also having the launch today. I'm recording this on the Friday, as I say. Also launching today on Netflix is Jupiter's Legacy. So I'm really looking forward to tucking into that. That'll fill that nice Falcon winter-shaped hole on Friday night viewings, I would say. A cool thing you guys might have seen was the Marvel Studios Celebrates the Movies trailer. I'm not gonna lie, this teared me up. You had Stan Lee narrating. You had a massive celebration of the power of movies, the power of the cinematic experience. This little trailer, it went into the entire history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it also showed some really cool stuff as well. It showed off some audience reaction from Avengers Endgame, the on your left moment, Cap Catch and Mjolnir, Avengers Assemble, and that's what the shared experience of those movies are. I mean, I enjoy watching a movie at home as much as the next person, but I cannot wait to get back to cinemas and start seeing movies on the big screen. So they were showing off their slate for the rest of the year. So we've got Black Widow coming, we've got Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings coming, we've got Eternals coming, we've got Spider-Man coming. And then they announced a whole pile of other projects as well that are in the works. Thor Love and Thunder, for example. They announced the next Black Panther movie. They announced The Marvels. And of course, the big one for everyone was probably that they finished it on that very iconic Four as well. So they're obviously working on Fantastic Four at the moment. It's a really exciting time for Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to go off in an interesting direction now. The Infinity Saga came to its natural end. It finished really satisfyingly, but now they can set up new characters, new storylines, and give new titles their moment in the sun as well. So if you haven't found that trailer yet or you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it. It is fantastic. It will give you goosebumps. There was the news though that out of all the cinematic movies lined up, Blade has been delayed. So Blade is going to have Mahershala Ali as the Daywalker. And it was originally going to start filming this September, but it's been put back until next July before it even starts filming. So there's going to be a long wait for this. But given the talent involved, you know, it's being written by Stacey Usu Kufar, who wrote Watchmen. So it's in really safe hands, and it's not like there's not loads of stuff coming out anyway. But Marvel are always really good about a good news sandwich, as I like to call it. The bad news is in the middle, but good news either side. So you had that great trailer, bad news of Blade, but the good news that Loki's being moved up and is actually going to be hitting on Wednesdays now instead of the Fridays that originally Marvel and Disney were working with for Disney Plus. But it's going to debut on Wednesday, June the 9th. So we're just about a month away from that. And again, something really good to look forward to. And then just two things I wanted to finish on were, again, another couple of trailers that dropped this week you guys might not have seen, but definitely search them out. You had a new teaser image for Stranger Things Season 4. I love Stranger Things. I came to Stranger Things later than most. I don't like to get caught up in the hype train of things when they first come out. I like to let the dust settle and see if it holds up. And Vicky and I only watched Stranger Things Season 1 when Stranger Things Season 2 was a month away. So that was great because we got to watch Stranger Things and then straight away get Season 2. But then, of course, you had that horrible wait for Season 3. And now we've had the horrible wait for Season 4. But really cool little trailer. It's just very, very quick. It shows Dr. Martin Brenner, who, of course, was played by Matthew Modine. And it shows the Hawkins National Laboratory where all of the children were being experimented on, and it ends, the trailer itself, it's very cryptic, very atmospheric, but it ends with like a little close-up on Eleven, which is obviously one of our main characters from Stranger Things. So search that out. No spoilers at all there, but looks really, really class. And then just one last one I want to throw out a bit of attention for is A Quiet Place Part 2. So I'm a big fan of Quiet Place as well. The first movie is brilliant. I've always been an Office fan anyway, but it's nice to see John Krasinski in a more dramatic role. And he wrote and directed A Quiet Place. Massive sleeper hit, really. You know, low budget movie, made a lot of money. But they've made a sequel to it, and it looks as if it's going to be a sequel and a prequel. It's going to show how the world went to hell, but also show the continuation of the story of the family from the first movie. What's great about it is it's going to be cinematic only. So it's scheduled for the 20th of May this month. Now, hopefully we're looking at this side of the world, the 24th of May, I believe. Hopefully that's when some more restrictions are going to be lifted. We'll be able to have people in the store, for example, to sit in. But you also have cinemas reopening, and they have said it's going to be a cinematic experience only. So the trailer for this, I don't usually watch final trailers, but it's been that long. I mean, it was originally scheduled, I believe, for February or March of last year, and they moved it back a full year. So I just wanted to reacquaint myself with it, and it looks awesome. It looks big and epic, and I love that they found a way for John Krasinski to be in it again as well. So brilliant, great movie to reopen the cinemas with. Between that and Black Widow, boom, there's your nice busy screens. Hopefully for when cinemas do reopen after all of this. So Quiet Place Part 2. If you haven't seen the first one, get on it. It is class. Just looking over at my Blu-rays there, I see we have it in 4K. That'll definitely be a rewatch before Quiet Place Part 2 comes out. So yeah, that is going to do it for us this week. Apologies, it's a little later than normal, but it's been a busy week, guys, between podcast recordings and the store being open. But I do want to continue with this on a weekly basis. I want to try and get into a bit more of a routine, getting them out in the same days, but just running the store, it's a lovely problem to have that it's so busy, it's taking up a lot of time, but I always want to do these things as well because they're always good fun, and you guys seem to dig it and find it useful as well. So anyway, as you know, we're open in store now again, so 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Mondays to Saturdays at the moment. No sit-in facilities, unfortunately, but we're not far away from that as well. So anyway, I hope you guys are all good. I hope you're staying safe out there. I'll look forward to seeing you in store, so take it easy.